Good morning. Hey, all you gorgeous folks out there. So listen, throughout my fitness journey, I've learned quite a bit about my body. I can tell you, since I was a little bitty girl, my bottom section of my body has always been extremely strong. Maybe it's genetics, who the heck knows, but what I know is from here down, I've always been very strong. Now from here up, I've got some weaknesses in my body. Played softball for a number of years. I also played outfield, and you can imagine throwing that ball over and over and over. I began to notice in the last couple of years that this shoulder was causing me quite a bit of difficulty. Now I could take a couple of ibuprofen throughout the day and I could get through it, right? But man, there were times when I'd climb in bed at night and I'd get still and the pain would start and there would be little shock waves that would run down my arm and up into my neck. I said, you know what, something is not right with this shoulder. So I went into the doctor and the doctor said, you know what, you've got a big tear that runs right across the front of your shoulder muscle. You know what, every day I'd show up at the gym and man, I would just walk and walk and walk on that treadmill. I'd get on that elliptical and woo, I'd climb. I'd get on the Stairmaster thing and I'd climb. I'd do my stairs. But if I looked at the rest of the gym, there wasn't anything that involved arms that I was even remotely interested in doing. Why? Because I had a weakness in my upper body that I just didn't want to deal with. So after I'd been going to the gym for about a year, my son comes over and says, Mom, why don't you come over here and just try it? You know what? I thought, heck, I've been doing this long enough, I'll at least try it. So I go over and he hands me a couple of 5-pound weights and he wants me to lift them in front of me. And guess what? The most extreme pain shot into my shoulder muscle. And it took me a good couple of weeks to say, you know what? It's gonna hurt, it's gonna stink, but I'm gonna push through. Over the next couple of months, the more I lifted and the more I worked that muscle, the stronger it got. Now I'm to the point that I can hold the 25-pound weight out in front of me. I can do it all day, every day. I can't help but wonder. We're walking around this life, and man, we have got strong places within us. I mean, no matter what happens, if it hits that part of our life, we got it. We can push through, we can dig deep, and we can get through the situation. And then we have other places in our life that are not so strong. They're pretty stinking weak. And do you know what we tend to do? We tend to ignore those places. We tend to take a couple of ibuprofens for our soul, and we just get through. Man, something happens in our life and it hits that weak area and it stinks and it hurts and it burns and it aches, and we try our best to just overlook it. We know that there are other places in our life that we are so stinking strong, so we focus on those areas because we know we can do those things. But these other places that are weak, I'm gonna tell you something. The more you ignore them, the more you will experience pain and heartache in them. I guess you could just put it this way. You can either go through it or you can grow through it. I was going through every single day, off and on throughout the day, aching and then treating and then aching and treating. But I didn't want to put in the necessary steps to actually grow the muscle to be able to hold up that place that was weak. And I can tell you full well that I believe without a shadow of a doubt that it would have gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. There was a time when I could not even lift my arm above my body. And now you give me a couple 30-pound weights and I'm going to be able to rep them out, right? It is possible for you to take some time and identify the places within you that have gotten a little weak. Or you know what? Maybe they started out weak. Maybe you came into this thing called adulthood, this thing called life, and you've always just struggled in this one area. Do you want to do that forever? here's where I'm asking you to respond. I know you're just sitting here staring at your phone or staring at your screen, but do you want to continue to face plant in those areas while you're ripping it out in your strong areas? It's gonna take a little bit of focus and attention. It's gonna take a little bit of to get those places strong. You know, I could have laid in bed at night and I could have just prayed for my shoulder and prayed for my shoulder. And you know what? I'm not knocking prayer because I absolutely 100% believe in it. But I also know that God created me with a mind and a spirit and a strength that is unstoppable. And while I'm praying through it, I'm also going to get through it. Today, what are those areas in your life? What are those areas that you'd like to, next time something comes in that place, you want to go ahead and conquer it? You want to go ahead and overcome it? And are you willing to take a little bit of time and attention to be able to work through those things? Are you even being honest with yourself that there are places within you that have gotten a little weak? I'm not saying you as a person are weak. I'm not saying that your spirit is weak. I'm saying that this crazy thing called life comes with some bumps and some bruises and some rips and some tears. And today, I call out to you, I'm your Alex. Get off of that treadmill for just a minute and come on over and let's do some real work. What are those places? Let's strengthen them up. And let's boldly walk forward, ready for anything. I love you so much. I absolutely 100% believe in you. You are so strong and mighty. And now, let's take the weak places and let's go ahead and move them over to the strong places. Rock out your day, you buttercup. Word.